Did you know that many men don't even understand their own emotions when they're falling in love? It's true. A man's journey through love is like a reality show filled with surprising twists. With one catch, he doesn't even realize he's the star of the show. And here's the fun part. When a man falls in love, he switches roles as if he were the lead in a TV series. First, he's the observer, quietly analyzing everything from the sidelines. Then he becomes the hunter, brimming with energy and strategies to capture your attention. But it doesn't stop there. Along the way, he morphs into the poet, the protector, and finally, the architect, where he starts building a vision of the future. Each of these roles is a reflection of the complex emotions men experience. Often, they don't even realize they're stepping into these parts. It's almost instinctive. But for those watching from the outside, each stage is as fascinating as following a plot full of unexpected twists and turns. Understanding this journey not only helps you pinpoint where he is, but also reveals how a man's love is a unique blend of logic, emotion, and charm. So if you've ever wanted to know what's going on in a man's mind when he's falling head over heels, this video is for you. Get ready for plenty of laughs, clever insights, and of course, valuable takeaways. Ready to dive in? Character 1, the observer, where it all begins. When a man starts to fall in love, he doesn't dive headfirst into the scene. He begins by observing. Think of him as the lead in a suspense film, quietly analyzing every detail before making his next move. At this stage, he's not trying to impress anyone. He's simply taking it all in. Men are naturally visual creatures, and during this phase, his mind goes into trailer mode. He's catching glimpses of who you are, how you laugh, the way you talk, even the way you play with your hair, and piecing it all together. He doesn't know how this story will end yet, but he's intrigued enough to keep watching the next chapters unfold. Picture this as a classic movie moment. He's in observation mode, silently taking in the scene like someone who prefers to watch from the audience before stepping onto the stage. He's not just focused on what's obvious, he's also tuned in to what you're saying between the lines. Maybe it's the tone of your voice or the way your eyes light up when you talk about something you love. Little details like these leave him wondering, what's behind all of this? But don't expect grand gestures or bold moves just yet. He's still gathering courage, trying to figure out how to connect. However, his time as the observer is limited. Once something truly stirs him emotionally, he's ready to switch roles. And this is where things start to get exciting, because now he becomes the hunter and the action really begins. Character 2, the hunter, where the action begins. After spending time as the observer and deciding you're worth the effort, he shifts into the hunter. This is the phase where he steps out of his quiet analysis and dives headfirst into action. Think of it as the transition from a suspense film to a romantic comedy full of unexpected twists. Now he's ready to take center stage. The hunter isn't just about the chase, it's about the pursuit of connection. He wants your attention, and to get it, he unleashes his best skills. Suddenly he's cracking jokes, some good, others questionable, exaggerating stories to seem more interesting, or diving into deeper conversations to prove he's so much more than meets the eye. Picture him as a contestant on a reality show where every laugh of yours feels like earning points. His brain goes into reward mode. Each smile, each moment of interest from you is like an invisible trophy. This fuels him to keep trying, sometimes with over-the-top gestures, like making a seemingly random comment just to spark a conversation. But don't be fooled. The hunter isn't just a player. While he's working hard to impress, it's because he's genuinely interested in you. He wants you to see his best side, even if that means risking looking a little silly from time to time. Once he feels he's captured more than just your attention, something shifts. The game fades into something more emotional, and the poet begins to emerge, ready to reveal a deeper, more vulnerable side. Character 3, the poet, where emotions take the stage. After the adrenaline rush of the hunter and capturing your attention, something shifts. He realizes that to move forward, he has to show you who he truly is. And this is where the poet steps in. This phase isn't about impressing you anymore. It's about genuinely connecting, a prospect that both excites and terrifies him. Being the poet doesn't mean he'll start writing romantic verses, unless he's the creative type. Instead, he begins revealing more of his inner world. Personal stories, hidden dreams, and insecurities he's rarely shared before. These begin to surface little by little. He lets his guard down and allows you to see beyond the exterior, but it doesn't stop there. He doesn't just open up about himself, he starts paying closer attention to you. This is when he notices the way your eyes light up when you talk about something you love, or the unique gestures you make while telling a funny story. These small details deepen his emotional connection, as if he's mentally writing a poem about everything he admires in you. Still, vulnerability is something he approaches with caution. Opening his heart feels like stepping onto a stage without a script. He wants to get it right, but fears the judgment that might come. That's why this phase is so defining. The poet doesn't just want to be accepted, he wants to be understood. Once he feels safe to be authentic, he relaxes, and that's when he starts imagining something bigger and more meaningful, a deeper connection that has the potential to grow. With his heart more open, he's ready to protect what's being built. That's when the next character, the Protector, begins to emerge. Character 4, the Protector, safeguarding what matters most. When a man realizes he's found something, or rather someone truly important, he transforms into the Protector. This isn't about chasing or competing anymore. It's about guarding what the two of you are building together. Picture him as an emotional hero, not with armor or action scenes, but with unwavering dedication. The Protector emerges when he shifts from hunter mode to care mode. His priority becomes you, not because he wants to impress, but because he genuinely wants you to feel safe and valued. You can see it in the small gestures, checking to ensure you got home safely, noticing what's troubling you, or even adjusting his schedule to be more present when you need him. The change isn't just on the outside. Internally, he starts reflecting on how to make the relationship stronger. Maybe he asks more questions about what you need emotionally, or shows a willingness to listen and understand rather than react impulsively. This level of care comes from an authentic place. He sees your connection as something special, something worth investing in. But it's important to note, healthy protection isn't about control. A true protector understands that caring for someone means creating an environment where both of you feel free to grow, not one that stifles or limits. For him, protecting isn't about enforcing rules. It's about building mutual trust and security. When he feels the two of you are aligned as a real team, the protector evolves once again. That's when the next role emerges, ready to start planning the future, the Architect. Character 5, the Architect, building the future. When a man steps into the Architect phase, he's moved through all the previous stages. He's no longer just exploring or protecting, now he's planning. This phase is when the relationship shifts from something rooted in the present to something woven into his vision of the future, and that changes everything. The Architect is focused on building. He starts thinking about how to fit you into his dreams and goals, and this shows up in conversations about more concrete plans. It could be about trips you'll take together, shared projects, or even adjustments in his routine to nurture your growth as a couple. While he's not promising a fairy tale castle, he understands that solid relationships are like construction projects. They require patience, dedication, and consistency, laid brick by brick. What's special about this phase is that, for him, this effort isn't a burden. He's excited to invest his time and energy because he sees the relationship as something truly worth cultivating. At this stage, he communicates more through actions than words, that what you're building together has real meaning and purpose. Of course, like any good architect, he knows that plans can change. Obstacles will arise and adjustments will need to be made, but that doesn't discourage him. Instead, he views challenges as part of the process, understanding that the goal isn't perfection, but creating something lasting. He's not thinking about a fleeting romance or something that fades over time. The Architect is focused on building a solid foundation, something the two of you can call your emotional home, a safe, secure space where both of you can grow and evolve together. And so, the cycle comes full circle. He began as a curious observer and has transformed into a committed architect, ready to create something beautiful and enduring with you. If you've enjoyed the video so far, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. That helps us bring you more amazing content like this. And don't be shy, share in the comments. Which of these roles have you seen someone play before? We'd love to hear your stories. Now that you're familiar with the 5 roles every man plays when he falls in love, it's easier to pinpoint exactly where he is on his journey. Let's recap quickly. He starts as the observer, silently analyzing everything and growing curious about who you are. Then he decides to take a chance and and becomes the hunter, full of energy and determination to capture your attention. As the connection deepens, he transforms into the poet, revealing his most authentic and vulnerable side. From there, the protector emerges, prioritizing the relationship and safeguarding what you're building together. Finally, he steps into the role of the architect, focusing on the future with solid plans and a long-term vision for the relationship. Each phase comes with its own challenges, but it also shows how uniquely layered and fascinating male passion can be. By recognizing these roles, you gain not only a deeper understanding of him, but also an appreciation for how love can be both transformative and creative. And the next time you encounter one of these roles in real life, remember, you're witnessing a real-life show where love is the central storyline.